Worldly versus esoteric teachings from the Holy Living Master. Beginning with a question of what spiritual teachers hold in terms of the divine vibes. It's more like new gene which develops inside the womb after a couple get married and plan for children. This divine vibe is like a drop of that divine esoteric knowledge placed in human to be developed into its perfection. That happens when you get into contact with a spiritual being, with divine power, with full trust. This spiritual gene in a human can grow and turn him or her into a compassionate, loving and generous over time. More like a soul-to-soul or telepathic connection that the spiritual father would connect to you. That inner spiritual gene would grow in you and guide you to always do good. Every good deeds that have been commanded by all divine revelations would be visible within you, and your actions in the physical world and your interactions in the society, those with whole truth and humanity do carry this kind of divine vibe and divine spiritual light. Whoever desires to meet them or start their spiritual journey would connect to this spiritual light within through these masters. To put it into another concept, there are two kinds of philosophical approaches. One that all physical world and the natural world we live in depend on that kind of philosophical studies, inventions and interventions. The one that is tangible. The other one is the spiritual philosophy of life, which to some extent people would refuse to know or accept as a kind of knowledge, because any society material stability depends on the intellectual capabilities and worldly science and development. Those who believe and seek to understand the spiritual knowledge would get access to the science beyond the physical world. The same as the worldly one, the essence of this knowledge is passed through the divine holy masters, soul travelers, God agents. Why people refer to these individuals? Because they hold the key and the true vibes. Once you connect to that vibes and energy, then you feel a kind of relief all over you. Every tensions you hold would go away. Every stresses or depressions you had would just disappear over time. The divine vibe would give you a higher purpose to think about than these worldly trivial goals and material obsessions. When come to contact with the spiritual people, you get to a completely different level of calmness and relief. You can't learn that in educational institutions. It's completely beyond one's mind. The living master would give you the true essence of the highest teaching of God. Then they themselves take the lead through their own enlightenment within this mystic school. The moment you get into this vibe, you become connected to anyone, irrespective of their belief systems. This is the time when you pass your knowledge to others, the same as you have learned amongst these spiritual people. The very fundamental about this vibe is that you cannot make it or fake it. It has to enter you and through you to others. You will then cannot teach any other things than love and compassion to whoever you come across. This is the highest philosophy of God consciousness. You will be filled with the bliss of God. Different times brings new teachers and God-blessed personalities to guide human to the right path and light. However, followers of all religion, lost that esoteric understanding along the way and began to differ one another on various issues on how to connect to the real source. That's why these spiritual masters that have power to get people, whatever religions they follow or faith they practice, to the real vibe and the light of God. That light or love of God that connects and moves every single atoms in the universe. We will be blessed by that kind of light and energy. Those who have faith and believe in the existence of such kind of energy in themselves would submit to that, and then that light would carry the work. Whether you do great jobs, love, show compassionate, or become generous, that's the real power in you, but not yourself. That's the kind of feeling that gives you eternal relief and quietness. You become useful in service of all mankind. If you look into the opposite force, if active in yourself, then you realize that once someone argues with you, every part of your body would become objectively talkative. That is the negative energy that would take control and compel you to do unfortunate things. When in rage state, then whatever comes of your language would be so insulting. Your parts of body then join to help that negative energy to materialize the purpose. Either slashing at somebody you argue with, or continue to show your madness through your whole body. The same is when the vibe of love or the light of God gets into you. You just desire with your whole heart to do good for everybody, to be loving and compassionate. This is the teaching of all divine revelations and holy prophets, that they try to connect mankind from that rage kind of state or negative mind and guide them to enlightenment, the vibe of God, pure love and eternal life. Seeking to connect the source could be simplified in a short story of a few people in a room who wanted to order their favorite food. The story tells the journey of few refugees live in one room but could not speak each other's language. Finally, someone entered and asked if they wanted to order a kind of fruit they liked. Each ordered grapes in their own language. While ordering, they kind of got into some argument, believing they knew the right name. But the purpose of all were just one: the grapes. This metaphorical story could imply in connection to the one source that it does not matter which walks of life or belief system you come from, as far as you realize that God's love, light, and the source of eternal light is the same. This is the teaching this mystic school and journey would provide if you wish to learn and get connected. The connected ones do not need to teach you any scripted lessons. They hold that kind of real God's energy that changes people instantly. You would be blessed by that kind of vibe. This is the real power. This is the light of God. This is the love that connects the whole universe. This power was revealed and bestowed to all prophets. Jesus, for example, had this knowledge of holy power. Muhammad, for example, received it when he was praying in a cave. God enlightened by this divine energy and was called upon to read in the name of God. The same power called upon Moses in Sinai mountain. All those who held that kind of energy were bestowed upon through their spiritual journey. Now, the collective consciousness needs such kind of vibe and energy to self-realization. The realization that there is another external life parallel to our physical beings. Once you realize that state, then you would enjoy every moment of your physical life as well. It wouldn't matter to you in what state of mind or physical being you are. You would enjoy every bit of your life, whether young, old, or even after. You would not live in many kind of fear or in any kind of illusion of anything. The God's vibe, light and pure love would guide you through this physical state and beyond. God bless you.